Alright folks, for anyone who's already here, welcome, welcome. Just getting some things adjusted. You might be able to hear it in my voice that I am a little bit sick, but I'm getting over it. Let me just make sure everything is running smoothly over here. It's been a while since I've streamed. I don't have a second monitor here, so I'm going to try to use my phone to see the chat menu and things like that. Alright, we should be live. Alright, things look okay for the most part. Alright, we're up and running. A little bit of a morning stream here. For those of you on YouTube, hello. This will get uploaded to YouTube as long as we don't run into any technical difficulties along the way. Like we did with last stream, there was a bit of lag with the camera. Hopefully I was able to fix that, but I'm not sure if I did. But what we have right in front of us here is red, white, sun, and moon. It's a control deck essentially that wins with planeswalkers like Nahiri the Harbinger, Chandra, Torch of Defiance, Gideon Jura, while trying to lock the opponent out of the game using cards like Blood Moon, Chalice of the Void, sweepers like Anger of the Gods and Wrath of God to get large 2-for-1s, and essentially just controlling the game in that sense. In terms of control decks, it's a pretty linear control deck, which is kind of a weird end of the spectrum. You don't always have that many decisions to make like you do with your standard blue control decks. So I think it's a little less punishing in that regard, but I think it's also a little bit less powerful at the same time. But this deck is one I think that Todd Stevens either popularized or created. So, you know, he's quite a great deck builder. He recently got a top 16 at the SCG tournament with kind of this Bant mid-range deck that he's been playing. So he's a cool guy. He's been making some sweet decks all throughout his time playing Modern. And we're going to try out, you know, one of his decks. Now, he hasn't played this deck in a while. Not a lot of people have played this deck in a while, but I think it kind of lines up well against all of the very fast aggro decks in the format. And I like having access to a win condition like Nahiri, as well as white sideboard cards like Rest in Peace, Stony Silence, and then Wrath of Gods and Cast Outs, and all this, like, you know, Bane Slayers and Lyras. There's a lot of good things going on for you know, that white splash for a like prison control deck, and that's what we're going for here, really. Alright, so hopefully that was a decent little intro on the deck. With that said, we're gonna run it. I think I have enough play points. Let's double check. Yeah, we got plenty. 235. We'll go ahead and run it in a modern competitive league. See how we do. I do apologize for the nasaliness of my voice. Again, I am just getting over a bit of a sickness, but I didn't want that to completely stop me from making any content for you guys. Hey, Longclaw MPG, good morning, good morning. Glad to have you here. How are you doing today? In regards to notifications, like if someone follows or subscribes, I'll go ahead and check those in between like games and matches, because I don't have multiple screens going on right now. So don't worry if you followed or subscribed. Just don't worry about it. I will get to you as soon as I possibly can, and I do apologize for that. Still working on my first cup of coffee. Oh man, so hopefully you can enjoy a nice little game here with your cup of coffee. I think it's a keep. We don't have much acceleration, but we have 2 chalices. We have an anger. Okay, so mono red is usually a good matchup, especially when we have multiple chalices. The issue is, of course, that we're going second here. Going first, we would have been in a really nice spot. Blood Moon, as it stands, I probably just want to play this guy tapped and say go. Well, I guess I could have cycled cast out if I played plains. I think I want to probably discard Blood Moon can help us lock them out of their white spells, although they could be on goblins. I think I'm okay discarding Blood Moon though. Hopefully we can get a Chalice on 1 here in just a second. Getting into the trials, also really good against burn. So I think here we'll just go ahead and slam. Chalice on 1. Try to lock our opponent out of playing most of their spells. They're usually 1 or 2 mana spells. Alright, Boros Charm is a 2 mana spell, so their hand is probably loaded with 2 mana spells is what I'm guessing. Alright. Goblin Guide gonna come in here for another. Alright, gets us a plains out of our deck. That's really nice. Lets us cast Gideon. Ooh, we could even go for... Alright, so how could we possibly die if we go for Chalice on 2 right now? Our opponent could go like another Boros Charm, put us down to 6. And then Goblin Guide attack us to 4. But Rift Bolt doesn't kill us, so... I think Chalice on 2 here is perfectly okay. Another Boros Charm puts us to 6. Goblin Guide puts us to 4. Rift Bolt does not kill us. And then we can just Gideon uptick on the Goblin Guide, I guess. And we can start... Start going to town here, making an emblem. Sweet. And that's how you clean up burn. So Chalice is really nice in this matchup, as we saw. We already have a solid amount of mainboard tools to beat burn. I like cutting some number of Blood Moon here because, yeah, they have white spells, but it's not always going to get the job done. Blessed Alliance is another great life gain spell to put in our deck. Anger of the Gods could come down a bit earlier than, say, Wrath of God and things like that. Question is, what do we want to cut? Cast Out's probably like really expensive and unnecessary. But I think most of our deck is designed to be pretty good against burn. I guess we could play Engineer Explosives, but don't think that's that good. We should expect some number of Destructive Revelries probably out of the sideboard. Maybe even like Shattering Sprees, Abrades, but most likely Destructive Revelry. The thing is, we have a lot of good tools even if we don't lock them out of the game. We have like Helixes and Blessed Alliances and all these good things. So I like this hand. I like this hand a lot. Alright, no 1-drop for my opponent. That's always good. We're probably looking to scry some lands to the top. Yep. We definitely want to hit our 4th land for these big planeswalkers. We also want to hit land number 4 for Blessed Alliance. Alright, so looks like my opponent suspended a Rift Bolt. Okay. Now I probably just want to go ahead and play Plains, Chalice on 1. They could easily have Destructive Revelry, but if they don't, this at least slows them down a little bit, and if they do, it means they have to use it. And that'll slow them down a little bit as well. I could have taken the opportunity to Blessed Alliance, just gain 4 life right there. I don't think that's necessarily very urgent, but yeah, okay, I guess they already have the Revelry. Sure, fair enough. Alright, Helix is a great pickup. Let's see what's on top of our deck. Marsh Flats. Don't want that. We can go ahead and bottom that. And while they're tapped out, let's just go ahead and gain 4 life. Basically negates one of their Boros charms. We've already got Lightning Helix as well. I like to keep around Lightning Helix because it can easily go after a creature as necessary. Alright, now we're looking to be in a pretty good spot. We can just slam Nahiri, tick her up. Our opponent's probably holding back some burn spell here. I think I'm going to hold on to the second Nahiri. Excuse me. In the case that my opponent starts chucking burn spells at this Nahiri to try to slow our clock down. Alright, Helix. Well, looks like maybe that's not really their plan, but regardless, I think I'll cycle away this. Well, that's not a card we want to see at all. But the cool thing is we're shuffling back a Blessed Alliance into the deck. Alright, Lava Spike me. Okay. Opponent is putting me down. Wow, that was probably one of the best draws in our deck at this point. Let's see if my opponent wants to respond to this. Would be very interesting. At this point, though, we don't actually have to make a move until our opponent does, and that's what's really nice. We're sitting in a really strong. Wow, just another Lightning Helix, just kind of showing the strength of this deck against burn. And my opponent's going to be inclined to play a burn spell right now on my end step, because that way, if they draw another 2-mana burn spell, they can go ahead and win the game. But looks like they're going to go and opt not to. And we'll go ahead and hope to not draw Emrakul right now. Sweet, that's not an Emrakul, so we'll go ahead and search for an Emrakul. And my opponent concedes. Wow, maybe they just didn't have any burn spells at all. Maybe just one burn spell in hand. Maybe they kept in some number of Searing Blazes. I don't know. But I think we're going to take our win and be pretty happy with it. And go ahead and jump straight into the second match. Why not Helix on his end step? There was no reason to make a move. My opponent basically needed to make the first move there. We just play our regular game and Emrakul, right? And if they don't do anything, we win. And if they do things, we don't want to get skull cracked. That's the thing. We want both of our burn spells to gain us our life, or our life gain spells to actually gain us life. So they had open mana there. The reason we didn't Helix on end step, again, is to play around Skullcrack type effects. And there was really no need for us to make a move. Again, we were winning the next turn. It was on our opponent to do something. And again, if they don't do anything, we win. This hand doesn't have speed, but it has a decent curve here, so Lightning Helix on 2, potentially even Cast Out on 1. Alright, Basic Island, definitely not how we want to start out a Blood Moon matchup, but it is what it is. Wow, okay. Looks like this is going to be blue-white control. Blood Moon's not the worst here, but it's not the best. And I kind of want to keep around Cast Out. It's really good against Planeswalkers, but at the same time, we really need to hit a land drop here. Alright, that's a land drop. Well, looks like we were hitting our land drops. We can go ahead and put a land on the bottom. I guess we got burn spells to take care of Planeswalkers, so alright, opponent doesn't hit their next land. I think I'd rather run out Blood Moon here. If there's a negate or mana leak in my opponent's hand, I'd rather these get mana leak than Nahiri, which is my only win condition. Yep. This gives my opponent one more turn to really find a land here. Well, no land. Go ahead and try to jam another Blood Moon here. Alright, that one resolved. Next turn we can play Nahiri and try to win this game. With 2 Helix in the hand, I would have at least played one when at 6 life, but that's me. There's just no reason. I'm trying to tell you, Benny. Again, we were going to go Emrakul next turn. There was nothing our opponent could do about that with 2 cards in hand. Looks like my opponent has a click here. It's probably going to go take our Nahiri. Oh wow, they just don't take anything? That seems incredibly well. Oh wait, did they take Nahiri? Oh, they take Nahiri. We drew another one. All right, I'm just a luck sack. Okay, so here what we can do is exile Simian Spirit Guide, Helix down the click, play another Nahiri. The old pause. Really? Yeah, really. Yeah. We were on 4 in the deck, so it's not the craziest thing. Okay, well, we got sweepers. Can deal with little Snapcaster mages. Opponent hit land number 4. That's gonna be pretty good for them. Another Blood Moon. Do they have another click here? If they have another click, they probably want to save it for end step. They know we have some sorcery speed stuff going on here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this other Blood Moon. And a Helix is actually really nice because it means we can kill a Vendilion click that comes down right now. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have to fairy, but if they have to fairy, we can at least make sure to let's click this correctly. Alright, they don't have cryptic mana, so I feel pretty comfortable doing this. Yeah, not yet on cryptic, so that's good. Absolutely, Benny. That's a good point. Alright, well, we have our trigger. And looks like they're going to play it out. Fair enough. Our win condition, our clock is not particularly fast in any way, but this at least gets rid of a lot of their basics that they naturally drew. So they're going to have quite a fair bit of fetch lands left in their deck. I'm going to hold on to this Clifftop Retreat. In case I want to loot it away to a Nahiri. Alright, opponent held on to some lands probably. But it's just a mountain here. Simian Spirit Guide, that's a win condition, so let's go ahead and cast it. And that's actually lethal with our Lightning Helix in our hand, so if our opponent doesn't have a removal spell for this Simian Spirit Guide, that's going to be game. Alright. I don't think blue-white controls a very good matchup at all. It's going to be even worse post-board, so I'm I'm going to see if we have any tools in our sideboard to approach this matchup. I kind of like more threat density, so definitely a fan of that. Definitely a fan of Sorcerer Spyglass. Shuts off their Planeswalker win conditions. Most of this other stuff, not very good. Not very good at all. So, probably want to cut some number of sweepers here. I guess they could have Entreat the Angels if they're the Miracles build. So we probably want to trim on the Anger of the Gods first before anything, and like cut one Blessed Alliance, which could technically kill a Vendilion Click. But I guess killing Vendilion Click, no, let's just yeah, maybe I like Anger of the Gods a little bit more. Because it kills clicks and doesn't kill our angels. Chalice bad. Is Chalice worse though than everything else that we have? I mean, Chalice can shut off Opt. You can put it on 2 to shut off Negate. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not the best card in the world. There is an argument maybe for Engineered Explosives. Maybe it can kill, like, Search for Azcanta, but like that's it. And we already have 4 Blood Moons. The issue is, like, I just don't think we have anything better than Chalice in our deck. I don't think we want Blessed Alliances. Don't think we want that many sweepers. I guess there's like an argument for 1 Engineered Explosives, but I think it's really narrow. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep the Chalice. Chalice on 1. They could also be an Ancestral Vision version, where Chalice on 0 could be really strong. There's a lot of different blue-white builds out there, so I really have no idea. We've got a turn 3 Nahiri, so I guess I'll keep it. Again, it's going to be a pretty rough matchup for us, so I'm not going to, well, yeah, the thing is, like, I'd rather not, I'd rather just Chalice on 1 on my next turn. If my opponent kept in some number of Path to Exile, then maybe Chalice will stop that. Well, there's a Gideon. We could power out a Gideon. I think I'd rather just get this Chalice on 1. Play it a little slow. I imagine my opponent doesn't quite care about this Chalice on 1, which could be a reason to just hold it to eventually play it on 2. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like maybe saving this Chalice on 2. Alright, that's a Blood Moon. I kind of want to run it out. I just have a feeling anything I play here is going to get negated, which is why I don't want to run out Nahiri currently. The thing is, if they don't have negate, we could also play around Celestial Purge, right? If we play Gideon, it plays around Celestial Purge. I can eat a Mana Leak too. Yeah, that's true. I guess I kind of want this Blood Moon to end up resolving, so I think Blood Moon is a little more important, and this plays around Celestial Purge as well. Alright, negate. No matter what we were going to do, is going to get negated there. The worst thing we could see here is a Jace. And it looks like my opponent can't do it any sooner. Yeah, and if I was my opponent, I would feel the same way. But maybe now we can resolve a Blood Moon, and we can feel kind of good about that. Because our opponent really only has basic island, basic plains right now. And so even fetch lands aren't going to save them. They can start brainstorming towards basics though. So haven't seen Purge and UI sideboard in a while. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't played blue white myself in a little bit, so I haven't been keeping up with how the deck lists have evolved. Alright, another Blood Moon. I think here we just, because Baneslayer just gets bounced by Jace, I think we just want to run out Nahiri here. Alright. So that worked. Probably want to discard this Anger of the Gods. I think I'll play the land. Alright, my opponent just doesn't do anything here, which is really odd. So they're brainstorm locked. They only have 2 basics. So I guess this spot isn't bad. They could have like an engineered explosives right now, which would be kind of scary. Let's go ahead and plus here. We could put a Chalice on too. How crazy is that? Again, I don't really like the idea of just Simian Spirit Guiding out. Wow, if we get an Emrakul next turn, that's going to be quite crazy. I could have Simian Spirit Guided out an Angel that would then get bounced, but it denies my opponent 1 Brainstorm. Looks like my opponent found Teferi though. Yeah, Teferi's really rough here. Alright, there goes Nahiri. I guess maybe the correct play was to deny my opponent 1 Brainstorm. Wow, okay. Fair play by my opponent there. Yeah, there goes Baneslayer. Now Teferi's gonna go and tick back up to 2, then up to 3, and I think that's gonna line up pretty well against Nahiri here. Still only 1 island. That's really good for me. Opponent's still discarding. That's also really good for me. Yeah. Alright. Okay, well. I guess I could have cast my oh my god, yeah, this did turn quickly, but that's what blue-white control does really well. Oh, are they forgetting to uptick Teferi? Oh, they just forgot to use Teferi. Alright, well, there's Nahiri. We're going up again. Alright, we'll hold on to that cliffed off retreat in our hand so we can cycle it away. Teferi not upticking was really good for us. It means that to get rid of Nahiri once more, they'll have to get rid of their Teferi. Although they could just have a backup Teferi. They run 2 usually. Sometimes they run 1 though. Yeah, but now they don't get to downtick on my Nahiri and keep their Teferi around. So that's, I think, pretty good for us. Untapping my lands, thank you, opponent. Doesn't obviously matter. Opponent still discarding opt. And there's the Emrakul. Alright. Well, we're going to discard that, because we would like the option to be able to... Ooh, Sorcerer's Spyglass. Wow, that is such a good pickup here. Oh no! Ah, what a fool. I am such a fool. Chalice on 2. Oh man. Yeah, classic. Oh, and they're gonna get rid of the Blood Moon. Ah. Good play by my opponent. Now their whole mana base is unlocked. They can do anything. Yeah, I knew you were gonna cast it in chat. Chat is not fast enough. No. We got... I need to... Is my opponent... I guess they have Cryptic to fizzle the Nahiri, so... Yeah, this is GG. I wonder if I was supposed to play that second Blood Moon sometime in the game to play around something like Teferi downtick. Well, we're going to try to do it anyways. If my opponent for some reason does not have a Cryptic command in their hand... Okay, alright, they're fetching. It's not necessarily a Cryptic. Alright, that's a Cryptic. Tap all creatures, draw a card, I assume. Sure. And I think once this Lyra gets countered, we can probably, I guess Lyra doesn't even need to get countered, but it's probably going to get countered. Ghost Quarter. Wow, they're just gonna double cryptic. All right. I've seen enough. All right, taking it to a game 3 here. Anything we want to change? I don't think so. I guess Wrath of God is a little better than Anger because of opposing Baneslayers and Lyras, now that I think about it. And obviously it cleans up our own, but we would like to be able to kill our opponent's ones, right? So yeah, GG. I mean, I had fun that game. I think our opponent played pretty well. I think we could have played a little bit better. On that one turn they played Teferi. I don't think they would have sandbagged Teferi. I think they honestly found it off of that last brainstorm. So well, this is a turn 3 Blood Moon, but I think we'll keep it. Would like to find a Simian Spear Guide off the top. Alright, that's a cast out. I guess that's not the worst. We can go ahead and cycle it if we want to. I guess maybe I should have played the Arid Mesa. I'm actually going to hold on to this cast out. Ooh, Chalice. I think I'd rather play Blood Moon. Alright, we're going to get Mana Leak negated, Logic Knotted, something here. Fair enough. I guess I could have let on Gideon like I did last time. Alright, well there's the Simian Spear Guide. The question is, do we run out the Nahiri or the Gideon? Gideon pressures opposing Jaces. Yeah, so I kind of like Gideon. And then we can save the Simian Spear Guide in the case we don't hit a land. And that way we can cast out a Jace. But we do have a Planeswalker on the board here, so that's a good start. And if my opponent is playing towards Teferi, we actually do have this cast out here, so that's pretty nice. Here we can maybe bait my opponent to use a Path to Exile, although at the same time I could play around Path to Exile by casting Chalice on 1. What are the chances my opponent still has Path to Exile in their deck post board? I think pretty slim. Pretty slim. I guess I kind of want to keep around Gideon in case my opponent does play Teferi. I guess we can lead. Well, it's tough because I think I'm going to lead on an attack though. The thing is, if I play Nahiri, they can go counter Nahiri and bounce Gideon, and then where am I? But I think this is okay. Obviously, they could have Cryptic Command. Nothing we can really do about Cryptic Command, though. Alright, counter target spell, draw a card. Yep. And now I'm kind of glad we get to untap with this cast out here. Alright, well, nothing from my opponent. He could have more Cryptic Commands, that's for sure. I guess Colonnade clears Gideon. Does this mean we want to save Nahiri for the next turn? I kind of want to, and I kind of want to try to get Chalice on 2. Chalice on 4. Alright, so this turn they bounce the Gideon. Okay. Fair enough. They could be playing towards a turn where they can play Jace with counter magic backup. Alright, still no Jace. So that's really good for us. Again, I think saving this cast out is going to be pretty important. We'll try to play into the Nahiri. We might get... Alright, just negate. Okay. Guess we'll exile... but Simian Spirit Guide gets killed by... maybe I should have led on Gideon. Yeah, I think I was supposed to lead on Gideon. Because playing Gideon Optic on Celestial Colonnade doesn't really do anything. Yeah, this is one of the matchups I was hoping not to face. I think even though you're a Blood Moon deck, like Blue-White Miracles is just so good, especially post-board against you. They have very few dead cards. So here they could even play like Teferi with Cryptic backup. So obviously opponent had a pretty good hand, negate, cryptic, but that's what their deck is. So you can't really complain too much about that. Alright, well, that's a scry. Chalice, probably going to bottom that. We just need threats. And I guess playing this Gideon is not the worst. Maybe forces them to tap out next turn. And I'm just going to play this Simian Spirit Guide. Alright, maybe they fire up the wrong Colonnade. Who knows? Alright, they fired up the correct Colonnade. Yeah, I think I missequenced that turn with Nahiri, unfortunately. Alright, there goes Gideon. Maybe we get an attack in here with Simian Spirit Guide. Just kind of crappy beatdown. Alright. That's 2 damage. Even get to keep up cast out. Now, unfortunately, we can't even reasonably attack into these Colonnades. Alright, here comes the Teferi, I imagine. Just the Terminus. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll save that for a loot. Again, I'm saving this cast out for the Jace or Teferi that's eventually going to come. It's possible my opponent's just going to end up killing me with Colonnades, though. Wow, so they have both Serum Visions and Opt in their deck, so Chalice on 1 could have been pretty decent. Let's see how my opponent... Wow, just Serum Visions. Huh. Alright, they went 1 top, 1 bottom, so... And then again, 1 top, 1 bottom. Right, there's Teferi. We're going to let that... And then in response... That way, if they draw a counterspell directly off of this, then they won't get to... Logic Knot. Yeah, we're pretty dead. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and concede after our next draw step, most likely. But I'm going to go ahead and double check on any follower notifications, so give me 1 second, guys. This is what happens when you don't have a second monitor. And Wrath of God off the top. We'll go ahead and pack it in here. That was a game, all right. I like how we stole game 1. I think that was pretty sweet, but I think generally it's a pretty unfavored matchup for us. Let's see here. All right, no follows, no. That's okay. However, if you're watching and enjoying the content, please consider hitting that follow button. It really helps me as a pretty new streamer. Do we have something for this matchup? Yeah, we had 2 Sorceress Spyglass. Unfortunately, in game 2, our own Chalice countered that. So a little bit of a non-bow in the deck, right? Yeah, we were super dead. Super duper dead. Wake up, baby. Super duper. Alright, well, no land. Let's go ahead and send that one back. And, well, we got Chalice on 1. Probably bottom this Chalice. We definitely want to find land. Well, I guess I probably should have played this Marsh Flats to save life. Get our Sacred Foundry out of our deck. Alright, Temple Garden shocked. Alright, here comes a Mana Dork. Okay, so we're pretty good against Mana Dork decks. Let's see if we can draw the right half of our deck, though, right? Well. I'm going to play the Chalice on 1. Don't know what it's going to do against my opponent right now, but it's something. I don't like Blessed Alliance against green-white decks because they have Voice of Resurgence. So that's always pretty rough. This could be Bant Spirits, probably. Alright, there's Gideon, which is going to get tagged by a land which is going to get tagged by Spell Queller now, for sure. But playing nothing is a pretty bad game plan, so yeah, there's the basic island. And there's a Spell Queller. Alright. So we're probably looking for an Anger of the Gods, a Wrath of God. We can't cast either one, though, so I'm not sure what... Oh boy, our opponent's got the sweet curve of Hierarch into... Drog Skull. Okay, that's pretty rough for us, but next turn we can maybe play Blessed. Okay, yeah. Chalice on 1, getting our value, being a 1-for-1 here. Kind of nice. Well, that just dies, doesn't it? I think I have a better chance of tagging something with Blessed Alliance here than just running out Gideon to his slaughter. Cool thing about Blessed Alliance is it actually hits creatures that have hexproof. So, alright, there's drugs. Let's see if my opponent plays around Blessed Alliance, though. Alright, don't play around Blessed Alliance. So, target opponent sacrifices an attacking creature. Either way, we're gonna get a pretty good creature right now. They're probably gonna lose the Drogskull Captain. Because giving us the Gideon... Oh, actually, giving us the Gideon is not that good, right? Because both of their creatures have hexproof now. Oh, but it looks like they would rather not give me Gideon. Fair enough for my opponent. There's an Anger of the Gods. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep up Blessed Alliance once more. If we can end up casting this Anger of the Gods, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Unfortunately, if our opponent has something like a Selfless Spirit, well, that's another Drogskull Captain. So, it's Red Sorcerer bust here, I think. Let's see if my opponent attacks with a Noble Hierarch this time to play around Blessed Alliance. Yeah. Good play, opponent. So the question is it worth just gaining 4 life at this point? Yeah, I think I'd rather just gain 4 life. Would be nice if I had some red source. Red source would clear up their entire board, actually. Huh. As it stands, looks like are we dead on board? They send 4 at Gideon, or they send 3 at Gideon, 7 at us. Yeah, we really needed to find another red source there. That's a shame. I think we could have won that game. Yeah, because we can't heal. We can only Helix Noble Hierarch, really. We can't Helix down any of the Drogskull captains, so that's game. Oh no, no, no! What? No, it has hexproof. It has hexproof. Everything has hexproof. Oh my gosh. Okay. For a second, I thought I missed a way we could survive there, but I was wrong. So we have some okay tools for this matchup. Probably want to cut Chalice. This is really not a Chalice matchup. I'm not a huge fan of Settle, but I think it's better than most things. Cast Out is quite expensive for removal, so we probably want to cut one of those. I think Blood Moon's okay, even in the face of like Noble Hierarchs. Maybe Blessed Alliance. Well, Blessed Alliance at least plays around hexproof, so I kind of like that. But maybe we don't need 2. Maybe it's too reactive, yeah. And I think Blood Moon's okay in this matchup. Even with Noble Hierarch, we can end up sweeping the board in some way, and then that cuts them off of mana pretty hard. But again, I think this matchup should be okay if we get to cast our spells. Like you saw, we were in it till the end in that game. Of course, our mana base is not perfect in this deck. I think I'll keep this. We got 2 lands, Temple of Triumph. We have good things to work towards here. No sweepers just yet, but at least we have some access to colors and mana here. Simian Spear Guide. That's interesting. That could be a turn 2 Chandra, so I'm gonna keep that on top. Yeah, turn 2 Chandra, it's going to be pretty good. She's going to enable us to cast spells as well, which is going to be really nice. Aether Vial. I did not know they played Aether Vial these days. Exile. Exile. Turn 2 Chandra, let's go. Alright, we'll tick up, deal our opponent 2 damage. What do we get here? Nahiri. Obviously can't cast that. I probably wasn't even. I guess we took out Chalice out of our deck, right? Yeah. If we like hit a Chalice on like we wouldn't cast it on 0. There's no point. All right. Opponent is gonna tap out for something on their turn. Hopefully they don't also have a 1-drop. Alright, lands is actually really nice. Because now we can just play Baneslayer Angel. And I think I'm going to get another Sacred Foundry here. So I guess that's a pretty good curve. Turn 2 Chandra, turn 3 Baneslayer Angel. That's not bad. And if we can end up ultimating Chandra in this game here, we'll be pretty good. That's what we were missing, kind of, a blocker on the ground. Well, in the air, technically. Alright. Sure, Supreme Phantom. Ooh. Unfortunately, double red means there's no way we can really cut it to do everything we want to do. So I think we'll go ahead and start going upstairs first. Alright, well, wouldn't have minded that plains. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have something like a spell pierce here. I guess this one presents the most damage, so we'll go ahead and target that. And next turn we can ultimate Chandra. Yeah, pretty good, right? I've seen worse. I have seen worse. All right, looks like my opponent might be able to go wide. Excuse me. The question. Oh no! They can copy my Baneslayer. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. But they're still kind of forced to. Oh, but they can. No, this is. I guess we can just let Chandra take a hit here, right? That wouldn't be the worst. They're kind of forced to send Baneslayer at Chandra, though. No attack. I kind of want to protect my Chandra that's on 7. I think if we can ultimate Chandra, we kind of win this game. So that was my reasoning there. Tamio? Oh no. Not like this. Sure. Can it use abilities? They don't untap or control the next untap step. Yeah, so I guess in this spot, not attacking was quite poor, but the nice thing is Gideon can just uptick on Baneslayer, and Baneslayer dies. Chandra's still around, which is really sweet. Unfortunately, there's no more Planeswalker redirection. I think we'll go ahead and start here. This obviously gets rid of Baneslayer. Here we'll go ahead and plus. Do I want to cast Blood Moon? Moorland Haunt is kind of scary, but I think the answer to that is going to be no. I think we'd rather hold up Blessed Alliance. You can kill the mage with Blessed, fortunately. Oh, hey, I didn't even consider that. Yeah, the untap feature, right? Untap 2 creatures. 2 target creatures. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Good call. That's a really good call. When they attack with Airblades or Blessed Alliance untap ability, you can do the job as well. Yeah, maybe that's the reason to uptick on the Selfless Spirit, right? Because now they can clear Chandra, which is kind of annoying. Alright, let's see who they go after here. Baneslayer is going to be pretty hard for them to deal with anyways, so I'd be very interested to see how they deal with this. So, when a Gideon. Alright, so we'll do with 2 modes. I gain 4 life, and they sacrifice an attacking creature. So I gain 4 life. Oh, you sacrifice. Well, probably have to crack this first. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Whoa. I can untap my Baneslayer. Yeah. I mean, I don't think this is resolving. It's probably going to get hit by like a Spell Queller. But at least it's something. Well, Collected Company try to hit a Spell Queller. Yeah, untap is definitely better than gain 4. Alright, no Spell Queller, no. Alright, that was really bad for my opponent. They sacrifice. Yeah, this is all sorts of bad. Now we can block. Opponent made the correct sacrifice. That way they can sacrifice Selfless Spirit. Therefore, we don't gain life. Ooh, Gideon Jura. That seems pretty sweet to me. Kind of like clearing the Tameo and forcing them to kind of trade their board if they want to. I don't really want them to end up drawing any cards down the road. And now they can chump if they want. Sure. Now we're way ahead on board. We can go ahead and plus here. Play the Gideon. Plus it. And now I think my opponent's going to be in a really rough spot. They need to have exactly collected company into like double Lord right now, I think is really their only way out. Of course, they have that Moorland Haunt to maybe save them some life. Let's see. Tameo, Baneslayer, and Gideon. So these two don't untap. I guess we'll start here. They'll probably fire up the Moorland Haunt to protect the Tameo. Yeah, that Blessed Alliance was quite insane. Sure. I mean, they're spending 3 mana to make this block to try to uptick a Planeswalker that might not even do anything for them. So, yeah. I guess I need to remember that I can still use my Planeswalkers here. Oh yeah, I used that already. And I guess now we get Nahiri down as well. I mean, alright, hey, you got the Spell Queller, you got the Spell Queller. What can I say? Sure. Spell Queller, go ahead. Forced to attack Gideon, doesn't even get value, right? This is when it deals... Oh, it deals combat damage. Alright, fair enough. Dealing Planeswalkers damage is still combat damage, so... I just don't think my opponent really has any way out of this, personally. But, fortunately my opponent cannot attack Chandra, because we have Gideon out here, so my opponent is trying to make an illegal attack. Magic Online is probably telling them that right now. We can go ahead and down tick, and my opponent concedes. Alright. That was sweet. That was a really sweet game. And it was only game 2, but it felt, I don't know, even though we were winning the whole game, it felt like it was a hard game, I'm not gonna lie. I think I want to find room for this other Blessed Alliance somewhere. That was just too sweet in my eyes. Really love the Angel package. I mean, turn 2 Chandra, turn 3 Angel is obviously insane. Cast Out is kind of cool. Settle the Wreckage. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to cut 1 Blood Moon, but that seems wrong. Like, powering out a turn 2 Blood Moon seems pretty strong against my opponent. That was a battle of the Planeswalkers? Yeah, I mean, battle of like 4 Planeswalkers versus 1 Tameo. Poor Tameo. That's just not, that's not going to get it there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Blessed Alliance is just not that great. Although, it does kill the image. Maybe cut 1 Gideon. He is kind of expensive, but he does help stabilize the board. I don't know. There's a cut in here somewhere that's correct for this Blessed Alliance. Can't possibly be the Sweepers, can it? Maybe it's just 1 Blood Moon. Maybe Blood Moon on the draw is just not that amazing against Bant Spirits. They have Aether Vial, they have Noble Hierarch. Blood Moon looks average versus Hierarchs and Vile decks. Yeah, exactly my thought. Yep. Alright, we have a keeper here. Alright, opponent's got the Hierarch. Well, there's a Blessed Alliance. So we could have a turn 2 Moon here. We could have a turn 2 Gideon. Whatever our heart desires, we can do here. We could actually even like turn 2 Blessed Alliance or turn 1 Blessed Alliance if we want to. Ooh, Geist. That's scary. Is that going to force us to hold up Blessed Alliance next turn? An Anger of the Gods off the top would be nice. That's not an Anger. It's a land, though. Land is not the worst. We could Blessed Alliance the Geist of Saint Traft with the trigger on the stack. Yeah, that seems okay to me. I don't think Blood Moon is going to do us any good right now. And if we can clear this Geist, we might be in okay shape. We're looking really bad against negates and spell callers here, though. Saving the Simian Spear Guide also saves us against. Oh, they're fine. Play around it. That's. Alright, we're going to have to get these creatures off the board eventually. We could even hardcast the Simian Spear Guide, but then that's pretty loose to a Lord. This is rough. This is rough. Any Planeswalker I play is going to die. Blood Moon doesn't really do anything for us. They can fetch up basic island here. We could cut them off of green, but I don't see the appeal in that when there's a Geist killing us here. We could play the Simian Spirit Guide, blocks Geist. Opponent goes untap, Drogskull Captain, like we lose. So I think I'd rather just go for the Blessed Alliance here, maybe even with the Gain 4 life mode. A Rattle Chains would be quite horrible for us, though. Alright. It's something, maybe. Breeding Pool. Ugh, untapped. Oh boy. Alright, not seeing a sweeper in these. Okay, alright. They just shocked it in and didn't do anything. I guess they're probably sitting on a Collected Company right about now. Okay, well they're probably sitting on a Spell Queller then. Alright. I probably should have played the Plains now that I think about it. Because now I'm forced to get a Sacred Foundry. Cast with 2 modes. Target player gains 4 life, target opponent is sacked. So I gain 4 life, they sacrifice. Yeah, I think playing Plains was the correct play there. And there's the Spell Queller. So we really need a Wrath of God off the top. Or else we're totally screwed. Ooh, wow, if we kept that Simian Spirit Guide, Gideon Jura would have been okay, right? Hansa, why do you play this deck? You lost some bet. This deck is sweet and all, but doesn't seem great with all the controls around. I actually think there's a fair bit of linear aggro decks out there. There's like Hardened Scales Affinity, there's Infect, there's Humans. There's so many like linear aggro decks out there that I feel like this deck is pretty good. And even against Control and this, you know, Bant Spirits deck here that we lost to, we put up fights, right? So I don't think this deck is that bad, and I think it's probably better positioned than it's really ever been. At least that's my take on it, Hansa. But, you know, you can feel free to disagree on that. I mean, the modern meta is crazy. Alright, let's check on any followers before we jump into the next match. We can view the deck right here real quick. Man, come on guys, you're making me feel... Oh my god, I missed a subscription. What in the world? Flank Attack, aka Richard, thank you so much for that Twitch Prime subscription. You are awesome. You are my 3rd ever subscriber, and I will always remember you. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. That's really awesome. If you're still in chat, I know that was quite a while ago, 24 minutes. Seems like a few too many 4-drops to me. Yeah, it does have quite a few. The curve is not pretty. This is going to get infect outside. You have sweepers, you have Chalice. I'd say, yeah, this deck, you have Blood Moon. I think, yeah. I think this deck is pretty good against infect. You have Lightning Helix. I think this is probably going to be a mulligan, even with the cast out and being on the draw. Because the thing is, this deck will just flop if we don't hit the second land, and we really don't have anything to catch us up. So I'm going to go ahead and just mulligan this. Kind of just be, we're on the draw, we have a scry. Our deck isn't necessarily based around card advantage, so we just need the right tools in our opener. We don't necessarily need, you know, a critical mass of cards. Yeah, Chalice does a bit of work, especially early against infect. Opponent's gonna take their time here deciding if they want to mulligan. They might have a pretty close hand. I know some mulligan decisions are definitely not easy. More likely they're just AFK. Don't get me wrong, this deck's really sweet and fun. I like it. Whenever someone starts with "Don't get me wrong," you know something else is coming after. Something not good. No, I'm really only playing this deck to switch it up, try to attack the meta in a certain way. Obviously, we're playing one league today. We're not really gonna, attack any meta, but just trying to switch it up. I mean, change the grind from Jeskai Saheeli, Mardu Pyromancer, Blue-White Control, just, all those decks are awesome. They're very powerful and interactive, but I think I like to just kind of cleanse a bit, Yeah, I'm still here, no problem. Happy you were streaming. Yeah, happy you are watching, Richard, really. Honestly, I really appreciate your support. By the way, if you don't know, Flank Attack 27 in chat, aka Richard John, he has a pretty awesome YouTube channel where he plays pretty, not necessarily off-the-wall decks, but I would say decks that people don't play as much. He would also innovate on them. So you can go ahead and, copy-paste your YouTube link in chat if you want. Richard, and you can kind of expose yourself a little, because I think you do have some pretty awesome content, and I do think, especially if you watch my videos on YouTube and my streams with Modern, you're gonna like what he makes. We make very similar content. Hansa One Ghost. No, I mean it. I just think other decks you play are better right now. That's all. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think other decks that I play are inherently better than this deck. I think. In Modern, it's really weird. I went from having this opinion of you need to do really powerful broken things to you need to be really consistent and also do powerful things, but not all the time. So this is why lately I've been moving more towards Blue-White Miracles and Mardu Pyromancer, because those decks are just insanely powerful when they do their thing, but they're also quite powerful when they don't, and I think that's really important in Modern. It reminds me of Tron. It's all right, turn 3 Tron, that's insane, but turn 4 Tron, even turn 5 Tron, that does the job in most matchups as well too. So that's just my little plug there about Modern. You need to do powerful things, but you also need to be consistent when you're not doing powerful things. So I think this deck fits the bill of doing powerful things, but it doesn't fit the bill of doing powerful things consistently, and then also not doing powerful things, or not doing something consistent when you're not doing your most powerful thing. So That's just my opinion there on what you need, what makes a successful modern deck. Which is why we've seen this deck fall off the map a little bit. But again, there's a bunch of linear aggro running around right now, so I thought, what the heck, why not? We beat Burn with like 2 Chalices on 1 and 2. That's awesome. And then, of course, Blue Eye Control, kind of a rough matchup, but we gave them a run for their money and we lost 1-2. And then Bant Spirits, I think there were like multiple scenarios there where a deck with like 8 sweepers doesn't draw 1, and you know, we lose. And we still gave them a run for their money, right? So obviously there's variance. Play this deck, grind it out, you know, and you'll get your wins in certain metas, right? But obviously you can't win them all. And I think as a modern grinder, you just have to come to realization that, you know, there's a lot of crazy decks out there, and you gotta do your thing, play your deck that you know best, and try your best. All right, looks like our opponent's back. Let's go ahead and ship it. Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, this is gonna let us either turn 1 Chalice or turn 2 Blood Moon, depending on the matchup. Alright, Blinkmoth Nexus. Could be Affinity. I kind of like the Affinity matchup. Okay. Kind of like Chalice on 1 in this matchup. It does mean we won't get the Lightning Helix next turn, say like a Steel Overseer. So maybe we just need to... wait, as awkward as that might be. Wait, dig for a sweeper. We can go Blood Moon on 2 or Chalice on 1. But I think being able to nab a Steel Overseer here is going to be really important. And Affinity is going to be a pretty good matchup for us. Nahiri is a win condition. I kind of like that. We could even set up for a turn 3 Nahiri by saving the Simian Spirit. I like Chalice on 0 and a Blood Moon, and then answer all of their other threats. Yeah, Chalice on 0 is reasonable. I guess I could hit Mox Opal. There's a Master of Ethereum. It is a 3/3. So I think we'll go ahead and just Helix it while we can. I don't think we need to Chalice on 0 personally, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just need to shut off their future Mox Opal, future Ornithopters. Another Master of Ethereum, sure. Swing with the Ornithopter. Wrath of God, great draw. Great draw. We probably want to save that though. I mean, Chalice on 1 stops Galblast. Chalice on 1 stops Signal Pest. Let's see what's on top of our deck before we make a decision. If it's a land, then we can even run out Blood Moon here. But Chalice on 0 could just be correct. Anger of the Gods, also not bad. Not bad. Kind of like Anger. Kind of don't. Kind of do, though. Okay, so I guess Blood Moon shuts off some of their man lands, and now Chalice on 0 shuts off Mox Opal. So I guess that's okay. I don't know. Never played on 1 versus Affinity. Fair enough. Yeah, that's totally fair. Alright. So we're going to get smacked for quite a lot here. But Anger of the Gods will clean up my opponent's board here. And now we just need to find a land. Alright, that's a playding with no creature. That's another artifact. Alright, now we just need to find a land. I guess Blood Moon does not really do anything. We can just keep it as discard fodder for Nahiri. Hope our opponent doesn't rip. Oh no, they have Karn. Another cranial plating. Oh my god. Whew. That was timely. Because any creature and we were just so dead. Alright, Chandra is able to clear any creature they play at sorcery speed, basically, except Etch Champion, so. Alright. We can beat a Signal Pest. (21-1) Signal Pest. Oh boy. Alright, let's go ahead and start here, I guess. Probably discard this Wrath of God. Draw another one. And now I think we're close to winning. But we're not out of the woods yet. Kind of need another white source to really lock up the... Okay, and now we basically win. So let's go ahead and search our library for Emrakul. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice a bunch of things. I think next we're going to set a Chalice on 2. Well, we'll start with an uptick here. Ooh. Get a Chandra with more loyalty? Yeah, sign me up. Alright, now our opponent is pretty dead here, but let's just go ahead and yeah, my opponent concedes. Alright, this is a good matchup for us. Let's just try not to screw it up. Engineer Explosives is fine. Anger is fine. Sorcerer's Spyglass could be decent. Definitely want our Stony Silences. Blessed Alliance is also reasonable. Baneslayer, Lyra, Settle. All of these are great. Yeah, our deck is kind of does everything we want to against my opponent. I think I'm going to side out this Cast Out. On the draw, I'll probably cut some number of Blood Moon and some number of Chalices as well. Probably cut all of the Chalices on the draw. That just seems like not the game we want to play if we can't get them for 0 on turn 1. Get those Stony Silences in there. I mean, Anger is not the greatest, but it's a solid sweeper, and I like Blessed Alliance hitting Etch Champion. Blood Moon is, again, not the worst because it shuts off their man lands. Maybe Gideon's just a little expensive here, but he is quite good against aggro. Maybe Gideon and Chandra are just a little too much. And Spyglass can shut off Etch Champion, Steel Overseer... Oh, sorry, Steel Overseer, Arcbound Ravager, Cranial Plating, etc., etc. So we can bring in one. We don't have to bring in both. I think I'll go ahead and submit that. Obviously, we have a bit of a non-bow with Engineer Explosives and Stony Silence in our deck, but I think if we have one or the other then we can play, we're in a pretty good spot. Now, this hand is really tame. It doesn't really have any pieces that we want. We've got one Helix. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan that. It's a bit greedy, but... And this hand is just fantastic. Probably bottom EE. With Stony in hand and 2 spot removal spells, we kind of just need lands. Alright. Alright, that's one of the lands that we asked for. I will keep that on top. Spyglass should be naming manlands if you play Stony, right? Yeah, that's a good point. Good point, Hansa, for sure. Obviously, naming all their artifacts with Spyglass would be kind of bad with a Stony Silence. So, the question is, do they have like Spell Pierce here? Well, they're already gonna. Well, they're gonna attack. I'm worried they're keeping up like Spell Pierce here, so I don't really want to jam Stony Silence right now. We could just Helix something on their upkeep. That way they can't use it for mana. I mean, to cast something at sorcery speed. Now if they want to Spell Pierce something, alright. So now they don't have the Springleaf mana, they don't have Mox Opal mana. They could just have a really bad hand. Okay, that looks like what they might just have. And now they can activate Mox Opal. But now they can't have blue mana up for... I guess they still can. Yeah, they can just attack for 1 here. And they can still keep up Spell Pierce mana. But I think we'll play around Spell Pierce for as long as we reasonably can. They sometimes play 2 Thoughtseize out of the sideboard as well. But I think if they had Thoughtseize, they would have cast it. And I think by the way they've played, there's a fair chance that they already have. Alright, now they don't have Spell Pierce mana up, so let's just go ahead and slam Stony Silence. And this feels like a good spot. We'll get to untap with mana and Blessed Alliance and Nahiri. They'll just have man lands, which yes are scary, but we have 2 Blood Moons in our deck to work towards. We have some Sorcerer's Spyglass. I think we played this game okay. Obviously 4 mana into like Karn would be the absolute worst for us. Alright, looks like they're just gonna swing for 2 here. Well, yeah, just getting Nahiri down. Hey, Steve RMPG, I hope I didn't miss it too far ago, but thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for being here and hanging out. Alright, now they can rev up quite a few man lands here. Got Blood Moonwood. Okay. Vault Scourge, sure. Vault Scourge, tap mana, right click concede. Fair enough. Fair enough, opponent. We played some good games there, didn't we? You tried your hardest, but that was a really bad matchup for my opponent. Alright, looks like we're on the play. I think I've played against this person before. I think they are on Miracles, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I think I'm going to want to cycle Cast Out with this hand here, specifically. So I'm going to lead on Plains. I wonder if this deck should be playing 1 basic mountain. Yep, looks like my opponent is on Miracles. That's so weird. Alright, that's another Chalice. That's another land. Sweet, so I think here we're okay shutting off, like, Opt. Would be nice to still have, wow, I wish I have such a great match with Affinity, alright. No reason to play this Chalice out on 2, or on 1 again. Honestly, it would just, no, would it get countered? No, it would have a converted mana cost of 2. Blood Moon there would have been great, but it looks like we're just going to get bullied by blue-white control this league. Well, that kind of sucks. They're going to look at our hand and they're going to be like, you know what, you can keep everything. Our hand is just bad. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Hopefully my opponent doesn't go Jace here. Alright, so far so good. Target opponent sacrifices an attacking creature. Bam, got him. Alright, no Jace, but almost definitely Cryptic. Well, alright, well, there's the fourth land, right as they have Cryptic mana. Just like we drew it up. I guess I'll lead on Chalice on 2 to bait out Negate. They were thinking about countering that. Nope. Just no. What was wrong last time? Stream was so laggy and now it's pretty smooth. I'm not sure if it was my internet, if it was some of the settings in my Twitch stream, like, I don't know, my bitrate or whatever it is. I looked up some fixes and I think I have fixes, but I am not sure. So I'm also not at my house right now, so I'm at my girlfriend's place and her internet might just be better than mine. Probably want to bin this Chalice. But I think we're getting to the stage in the game where we're super dead. They have... Okay. Go for the Nahiri? Oh, they go for the Chalice. Alright. Alright. Fair enough. And there goes our Nahiri. Ooh, Gideon. Kind of like Gideon. But them taking away our Chalices means they probably have a alright, a Path to Exile. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop it up. They have 5 cards to Fairy. Yeah. No need to waste our time or my opponent's. Sorcerer's Spyglass, not a bad card in this matchup. Baneslayer, Lyra, a bit of threat density, but I'm not really happy with them. Probably want to cut these Blessed Alliances. EE can hit Search for Iscanta. We spoke about this in the last time we played Blue-White Control. But that's kind of it. Probably want to cut Wrath of God. Anger of the Gods can at least kill Vendilion Click and doesn't kill our Angels. I'm going to try that. Again, some of these Miracle builds have been playing and treat the Angels, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to have like an EE or a Wrath left in here. Maybe like one EE over an Anger. But I'm not sure. We'll try it. We'll try it. Yeah, shout out to the girlfriend. Yeah, this is her room. Go ahead and take a look around. It's a fantastic, lovely, comfortable room. A little hot, but you know, I'll take it. Alright, that's a turn 2 Blood Moon. Yeah, we'll keep it. This is a really awkward hand, but we'll keep it. I love Magic. We got the Sorcerer's Spyglass as well. Yeah, we'll save the Sitting Spirit Guide for the Blood Moon, though. Blood Moon is not the best against Miracles, but it's best early. So, I'll take it. Clifftop Retreat is not a bad draw. It means we lose out on a Scry, but I don't mind. Alright, they have the Plains. Alright, let's try to name Gideon here, or sorry, Jace, or Teferi. Teferi requires double blue, so I probably, sorry, Jace requires double blue, so I probably just name Teferi here, because he can get rid of Sorcerer's Spyglass, and Blood Moon as well, so I think Teferi takes less work to get online. From this position, alright, they play the Fortress. Alright, well, I guess we just say go for a while. I think I do play the second Blood Moon in case they have a Celestial Purge, or I guess it's worse against Detention Sphere. They can Path to Exile me if they want. I'd rather them Path to Exile me than one of their own creatures, actually. Well, this is the part where our opponent draws out of it because we have absolutely no pressure. What I like here is we have Helix that can actually take down Teferi or Jace. Alright, but my opponent is probably digging for Island plus creature, and then they path their own guy. Thankfully, we have the Helix as an answer to that. Alright, Nahiri. Let's get this party started. A Miracle and Treat the Angel does cost 2 white mana, but I think I do want to save this EE. That's like one of the few ways that we lose from this position. Get rid of Anger of the Gods. Let's go ahead and play the Plains. Alright. Stole the game against Blue-White Miracles. Doesn't happen very often, but I think we did a good job there. Playing a turn 2 Blood Moon. Skillful game. Very skillful. Yeah, I don't like this Engineer Explosives. I'm going to cut it personally. Probably bring in another Anger of the Gods, I guess. No, I guess I keep EE. It can answer an early search for Azcanta. I guess I could bring in like one Rest in Peace. Shuts down Snapcast, shuts down Azcanta, shuts down Crucible of Worlds potentially. I think I'll keep this hand. I know it doesn't have Blood Moon, doesn't have anything crazy to it, but we have Cast Out for opposing Planeswalkers. Alright, now they are going straight for fetch the basic, play Search for Azcanta, I imagine. Yep, fair enough. Here I kind of just like getting the Sorcerer's Spyglass. Oh, it's going to get D-Sphere, but we can at least fight over D-Sphere. Sorry, let's see what's in my opponent's hands once more. They do have the Jace, so we name the Jace. Jace the Mind Sculptor. A cool play we'll be able to make next turn is if my opponent... I guess that's not the coolest play, right? Oh, wow, my opponent... Oh, they have Negate as well. Interesting. Okay, if they're holding up Negate, I think this is fine. Just say go. Yeah, sure, Field of Ruin me, go ahead. I guess I could have nabbed the Search for Azcanta there. Those Field of Ruins actually doing work here, aren't they? I kind of want my opponent to fight over this, because then we can Nahiri downtick on Search, and then we're in a really good spot. Alright, there's the Negate. So they have one unknown card in their hand. Hopefully it's not another Negate. Alright. Sweet, we're getting an untap with Nahiri? Probably want to discard this Helix just because this mana source is really important. Now that we found another mana source, it's not that important. But I think here we just want to play Baneslayer Angel. Hopefully their last card is not a Cryptic Command. Although, maybe did they play this island last turn? Yeah, they played that island last turn. Wow, their last card is Cryptic. Ugh. Alright, there's Jace. Gonna lead off of a Brainstorm. Makes sense. Well, another Nahiri is pretty sweet, but I think we lead here. We'll just name Jace. Jace the Mind Sculptor. And this is their hand. I kind of want to save. I like everything in my hand right now. My opponent's going to be forced to try to answer this Colonnade. I mean, try to answer this Nahiri with Colonnade, I imagine. Sure. What's going to be their target here? Alright, in response, we'll cast. Play Cast Out. This will force them to... Oh no. I guess they can I guess they can always Cryptic counter it, but yeah, I could have just downticked on, but I don't want him to get a Brainstorm. Punt. If opponent got Cryptic and Bash with Colonnade, you just lost. Is that a punt? Might be a punt. Alright, now they get another Brainstorm. At least they use the Cryptic command, and we can get rid of the Detention Sphere with Nahiri. And then obviously still have perfect information on their hand afterwards. Alright, Baneslayer, opt. Okay. Interesting. We could just name Colonnade, play the other Nahiri, and uptick, but the chances my opponent finds an answer with an active Jace are just too high. Hey Bruno. Hey from Brazil. Hope you're doing okay in Brazil. Actually, I think I just probably want to play this other Nahiri. If my opponent wants to take a few turns fighting with Colonnade, I think I'm okay with that. Sure. Oh, I guess they Brainstormed last turn. They didn't want to keep the cards in their hand. Fair enough. Alright, they take a turn off to play Baneslayer. Makes sense. Whew, Blood Moon. Blood Moon. Blood Moon. Is that a good draw? I think it was. Now this Colonnade's not active. I think their hand is Plains opt. Not much English, sorry. Don't be sorry, Bruno. Don't even worry about it. Very good video. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Glad to have you hanging out. This is probably our last match here, but wow. Alright, that Blood Moon turned things around. Now we can clear. Wow, they're going after me. Did they draw the Cryptic? Oh my god. If they drew the Cryptic command, I'm gonna be a little upset. But such is magic. Attack my opponent, I believe, because they can just sack Jace if we attack it. I attacked the Nahiri. Ah, sad face. That's like that's sad face. I'm sorry, buddy. Hopefully this Nahiri doesn't get countered. Oh no, they had the negate. Wow, I wonder if I was just supposed to down tick on the Baneslayer. If that would have put me just in a much better position, right? Because now I'm on a 1-turn clock to this Baneslayer. My opponent not... Oh my god. Oh, the clutch draws. Ugh. Alright, I think I set this on 1 so that my... Oh, no. No. Wait a second. I think I set it on 0 so that those Ancestral Visions don't go off. Ah, man. Maybe I was supposed to do that. Maybe I was just supposed to play Chalice on 0. Am I punting right now? I hope I'm not punting too hard. Okay, they didn't take anything. And they don't block. Those Ancestrals still have a couple more turns, I guess. Attack me. I guess this forces... We'll see what they have here. They need something pretty good. Now we get an emblem. Even like a Snapcaster Mage end of turn doesn't kill us. These Ancestrals are going to get countered. Alright, there's a land. Teferi? Alright, Teferi keeps them alive. Wow, they went up? What are they looking for exactly? Path to Exile? Alright, we're going for it. I guess Opt into Terminus is still lethal. I mean, Opt into Terminus would just be insane. I think I'm just going to go for the kill here, though. Oh my god. Wow. That was a game of back and forth. There was a lot of back and forth to that game. I can't say that me or my opponent played optimally there, but I will say that it was a very enjoyable game with a lot of interaction. And I had some pretty decent top decks. So let's go ahead and, once more take a look at the deck that we just played, which was Red, White, Sun, and Moon. Yeah, GG's, right, Hansa? GG's. I think our opponent missed clicking there where their attack was kind of rough, but you know, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to take my win. And you know, arguably their attack wasn't even correct. Incorrect, right? Because then if they just attack Nahiri, we down tick Nahiri, and then it's a grindy game. I guess they don't lose a billion permanents, but regardless, we can analyze that game another time. But this is the deck we have in front of you. We played against round 1 against Burn. I don't think many people were here yet when we played against Burn. We beat Burn 2-0 on the backs of a couple Chalices. Then we lost to Blue-White Control. We kind of stole game 1 with Blood Moon. Game 2 and 3 we got crushed. Game 3 we played against, or match 3, excuse me, we played against Bant Spirits, which I think is a pretty good matchup for us. Obviously, Spell Quellers and Instant Speed interactions makes that a bit harder, but 2 of the games that we lost, we lost 1 and 2 in that match. The 2 games we lost, we just never saw the sweeper or never saw the mana for the sweeper. So I think that matchup is okay if you can resolve like even 1 sweeper. Match 4, God, we just played against it, didn't we? What did we? Affinity. Affinity, great matchup. You want to get paired against Affinity with this deck. Affinity, Hardened Scales Affinity, Humans even. Those are good matchups. You want to fight those linear aggro decks best way possible. And then round 5 we played against Blue-White Control just now. Most of you are probably here, but we were able to beat them in 3 games. Some close stuff, but somehow we pulled it out, right? And that was the wrap-up. The deck performed pretty nice. I really like this list. I think it's pretty solid. I didn't like come up with it 100%. I kind of copy-pasted a list from a 5.0 recently and then made a couple tweaks for what I think is best. But this is not my list. I tweaked a list that got 5.0 recently to fit for Chalice of the Void. I think I trimmed a Blessed Alliance, I trimmed a Glorious End that was in there, I trimmed 1 Wrath of God, and I trimmed 1 Gideon to fit in for Chalice of the Void. So I think Chalice of the Void is a big reason to actually play this deck. Otherwise, you might as well just play like Scred or something. So obviously you get white sideboard cards as well too. Not going to downplay the white sideboard cards. But yeah, I think the deck performed pretty awesome. I think it has a good density of answers as well as permanents that are threats. I think Nahiri is an awesome card. I used to play Jessica Nahiri. My first like big tournament finish at a Star City Games Classic was with Nahiri. I was like undefeated in the Swiss, and then I lost to Jeff Hoogland in top 8, unfortunately. This was back in 2016. But I've been a fan of Jessica Nahiri for a long time now. I don't think, whoops, I just took a Chandra out of there, but just know that there's a Chandra here. Jessica Nahiri was an archetype I really loved before I moved on to Jeskai Saheeli, which I think is personally the superior deck, but we can talk about that another day. But yeah, I think this deck is sweet. White sideboard options in a red-based prison deck. You know, that's the cream of the crop right there. Stony Silence, Rest in Peace are some of the best, you know, sideboard cards there are in Modern. And then you get life gain options in the form of Blessed Alliance, Baneslayer, and Lyra, and then exile options in the form of Settle the Wreckage. And then you just kind of wrap it up somehow else with the 4th Anger of the Gods for those graveyard-based creature decks, or just little creature decks. Sorcerer Spyglass for those weird permanents you can't interact with. And then Engineer Explosives is the catch-all for certain permanents we can't answer. So that was a little bit of a wrap-up there for us. I really enjoyed the deck. It's a fun deck. We might come back to it in the future. Let's go ahead and open up our victory chest. When is the next stream? Good question. Let's see. I don't know if I have anything tomorrow morning. So school just started up. And so I'm a TA, and most of my classes don't have a scheduled meeting time, so it's kind of like individual work in my master's. So technically I could stream around the same time tomorrow, but it really depends on, you know, what meetings I have, if any students contact me, if there's any things I need to deal with. It's really hard to have a set schedule as a student, but ideally, I can maybe stream tomorrow around the same time after I drop my girlfriend off at work. We can do another league just like we did today. How does that sound, Hansa? Is that an okay answer for you? Hey, Longclaw! Oh my gosh! I hope I didn't miss it too far ago. Thank you so much for that subscription. You're awesome. You are awesome, Longclaw. You've been following my stream here for basically since I started, right? And I don't know if you've been watching the YouTube, but I really do appreciate your support. Your consistent followed support makes me happier than you can even imagine, Longclaw. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Great, great, Hansa. Hopefully that answer does the trick. So let me get Chandra back in here before we close up the stream. Looks like there were no lag issues this time around, so hopefully we have that fixed for the future. We'll get this uploaded to YouTube as well. That way, all of you at YouTube won't be missing out on anything at all. I'm here. I have watched your YouTube for a long time too. Great Longclaw. I'm glad that you know, I've been trying to like get exposure from the YouTube to the Twitch and the Twitch to the YouTube. So I'm kind of hoping that it kind of feeds into each other. And I'm glad that you were able to find your way from the YouTube to here and then subscribe on here. I really appreciate that. I know there's so many other streamers out there, modern streamers especially, that you could be spending your time watching. So the fact that you're here hanging out with me, not just hanging out, but you know, basically putting your money to my content, like that's amazing. All the money that you guys donate and subscribe with gets put back into the stream to you know, enter tournaments, buy cards, pay my Mana Trader subscription, which, by the way, I am not sponsored by Mana Traders, but hello Mana Traders, if you're out there, I am available. This deck was you know, borrowed from Mana Traders here. So if any of you people play Magic Online out there and you want to play a bunch of different decks, but you don't have the ticks to buy all those different decks, I do the $35 plan a month. It's pretty sweet. I definitely recommend it if you know, have a steady income and are okay with making monthly subscriptions like that. Definitely encourage it. But anyways, I think that's all we've got here for today. I'll go ahead and upload this to YouTube as soon as we get off here. But again, thank you to every single one of you that enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna try to think here. Trying to think if I can host anybody. But unfortunately, I don't have a second monitor, so it's gonna be hard for me to figure out who is online right now and what to do. Yeah, Richard, you use Mana Traders too, for sure. Mana Traders is, look, it's the cream of the crop. You rent your cards, and usually they give it to you under 2 minutes. Sometimes they're busy, they take a bit more time, but honestly, if you're like me and you like playing different decks and you like to not only just explore Modern, but just kind of play the waves of the Modern meta as it changes, and you don't want to just be locked into one deck, Mana Traders is the go-to. Anyways, that's enough of the plug for someone that doesn't even sponsor me. So thank you all so much for watching the content here. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching on there. And yeah, stay tuned in the future for more content. Hopefully tomorrow around 9 o'clock, 9:30, we can try to run it back with maybe a different deck. Haven't decided yet. I can think about that tonight. But yeah, thank you all for watching. See you later.